Hi everyone, this is Dr. Nichols-Boyle, and today I'm going to talk to you about how to create and manipulate screenshots because these again are going to be required for your client project in the appendix to show some visual representations of what it is that you're trying to point out, both positive and negative. So I have a Mac, so I'll be going through the instructions for that. I have included instructions for a PC, which is actually easier in the capturing part of the screenshot, on the instructions for the final recommendation report. So you can look there. But once I get it into Word, it's very similar to how you work with it, so you should be able to follow along. All right, so for a Mac, you would hit Command Shift and 3 if you wanted to capture the whole screen. I want to just capture a part of the screen, so I'm going to do Command Shift 4 here. Again, in PC, you just hit the print screen in the upper right hand corner of your keyboard, and it will just capture the screen and you can crop and manipulate it later. So Command Shift 4, which gives me this handy little pointer here, and I can drag it to wherever I want. I don't want to include all the menu in the sidebar this time because I just want to focus on this main content area. So I'm just going to choose that part of it. If you wanted to zoom in before you did this, you can do Control plus or Control minus in PC, or Command plus. You can zoom in using your mouse too in a Mac if you want to just show a certain part of it. But you can also zoom in and play with it more once you get it in Word. All right, so that actually, just doing that much, has already created my screenshot. In Mac, you'll see if I just scroll this over here, oops, that it automatically saves screenshots to your desktop. So that's where it will be saved. You could go in and save it, go in and click and save it somewhere else, but for now, I just keep it on the desktop because it's easiest to find. So I've now created my screenshot. That's what I wanted to show. I'll go into a new Word document and insert it. If you were doing this for PC, it would just be Control V, paste function, and you would put it right in there. For Mac, I'm going to have to find it first. So I'm going to go to the Insert menu and Insert Pictures. And I'll picture from File. And then I want to find where it is. I already have it kind of queued up because I was here before with my screenshot, and I'll have to pay attention to what time I did it in order to be able to know which one it is. I actually think I want to use this one instead. Yeah, I'll use this one instead. Okay, and then Insert. And here it is. Here is one for the first year writing page in English, and a few things I wanted to point out here. So it's quite large, which is fine. There's lots of things I can do to manipulate this. You'll notice it will in Word default to the picture format, so there's things you can do already here. If you wanted to crop it, for example, say you had some extra stuff on the top or on the side that you didn't want, you could either adjust the height and the width here and see how it worked, or you could just hit crop and use the tool to maybe crop over a little bit like that, or whatever you wanted to do. Okay, and then if you just click somewhere out of it, it will show that same thing. So now you can see that there's no green on the side there because I just cropped it out. If I wanted to, again, you can always hit undo if you wanted to bring it back. Okay, so that's a crop one. Again, if you want to get back into that picture format, you just click back in on the actual screenshot and go to picture format, and you can do some other things like picture, align, the different borders, things like that. For the most part, though, and I think this is true of PCs also, you can always right-click to get to a lot of these same functions. And for a Mac, one of the first things I would do is take away the background so that I can get on the right layer to actually insert some shapes, like if I want to do circles or arrows or even a text box, something like that. So in order to do that, you can also choose it up here. You go to Wrap Text, and we're going to choose top and bottom. And that way, when I start creating things, it will not replace the picture. It will actually just go on top of it. And in PC, you don't have to do this in Word. It should just automatically be able to draw on the picture itself. Another thing that's a great idea to do is you always want to label your screenshots. So you, again, right click, you might want to insert a caption. You can just do this by typing ahead of it too. This is a nice little easy feature. I suggest above so it's easily found. And this has, you can label it by figure or a table or equation. I'll just choose figure, and then I want to say what I want the reader to look for here, rather than just figure 1. And again, we'll be linking to this from later in the report, other parts in the report, but this will help. So I want to maybe show figure 1, let's say issues with contrast. That's what I want to point out here. Right, and hit OK, and there it is. And once it's in here, I can do my normal kinds of things, like I can change the font here, I can make it bigger, maybe I want to make that 14, I can change the color, etc., just like you would with a normal one. So maybe all my figures of that, maybe I want to have it bold, and in italics or just bold. All right, so that's my new caption. And again, if I want to do some of the other things here to my picture format, I think I might want to crop out this top part of it, for example. I don't really like that. Need the footnotes there. Okay, good. So now, what would I do to add some more emphasis to this? Sometimes it's enough to just have the screenshot, but if you really want to show, what is the problem with the contrast here, or actually probably with linking as well. Change that here. For example, let's say I wanted to show click here is not really what should be integrating the link effectively, right? It would be much better to say submit to the first year writing contest and just highlight submit, something like that. So I would insert, and I can insert shapes. And there's lots of different shapes you can choose here. You can choose a circle to circle something. You can choose arrows to point to it, bigger and smaller arrows. And you can even, if you go up here, choose a text box to do some writing in there as well. So I think right now I'll just maybe do a circle. So I'll just draw my circle here. I want to highlight this click here little section here. Great. And you can see it covers over it, so I'll have to do a little bit of mixing around here. I'll change it to no fill so that it is a little bit more obvious. I think to be more, make it stand out, I will choose a different color. So I think I'll make it red. And then, because it's still a little bit small, I can manipulate this a little bit. Make it a little bit bigger here to make it more obvious. I can also make the actual weight of it a little bit bigger. So here, this does the actual size, so I can make it like 1.5 to make it a little bit stronger, something like that. So anyway, so here's my issue I have with this, and if I want, I could then add text box or something like that to explain why I have circled that. So I might do something like, go back to my insert, I might make a little text box that I want to draw, and I might put this over here and then say, poorly integrated link. That's not big enough. I'll make it a little bigger, wider. Okay. And then again, I can play around with this. I can change the color of the text also. The text red. I can make the color actually a little bit, I can make it stronger too. Might be a little bit too big. Change that a little bit. Something like this. And then I'll have to go back in and change the color again after I made that change. There we go. Okay. And then I have my nice poorly integrated link here. And again, this isn't perfect. I can play around with this more, make it a little bit more obvious and flow a little bit better. But these are different kinds of things you could do. Another thing you could do is use the arrows. So this is also shapes. I could maybe point, I want to go to the other side. Maybe I want to point to how these should be separated so they have more contrast and aren't kind of blending into the rest. So I want to draw my little arrow here. Move this around a little bit. Okay, something like that. And again, when I wanted to play around with this, you keep going here. I can change it to red. I can, again, do weight. I can do this with circles too. Go back to my circle here. I can make it dashes if I wanted to kind of show a little bit less. All those kinds of things. So there's lots of different options. And again, I could point this out more, have add a text box, show issue with proximity right underneath it, something like that. So there's a lot of different options as well. And if I wasn't going to talk about these, I could crop it even more. I probably would mention here again, this could be a little bit bigger because it's all sort of blending together. There's real issues of contrast here. Okay, so that gives you a little bit of how to work with screenshots, and hopefully that will help you out. Again, as always, let me know.